Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today for this webinar on the dental plans overview for HealthFlex and any Q&A you may have. I apologize. My voice is a little in and out. My allergies get really bad this time of year, so I've got some water. I might need to pause for a moment. Just to let you know, I'm going to go through this webinar. We have your microphones muted because we are recording for people who were unable to attend today, or if you want to go back and view later. And we find that it's much easier to just address questions sometimes throughout and sometimes at the end. So feel free to use that question and answer module to ask any questions that you have. Please do not use the chat module. I know that is where everyone wants to go because it's such a common thing to use chat across applications, but it makes it more difficult for me to see those during the presentation. It's just the way that Zoom is set up. If you do accidentally put it there, don't worry about it. I will see it at the end, or you could always add it back into the Q&A module. My name is Bob Gerlach. I am the Health and Welfare Benefits Manager, and today I am going to go through and talk to you about dental plans. So I'm going to cover the dental plans we offer in HealthFlex. I'll spend a good amount of time on going over how to find an in-network dentist. And then once we're done with that, I will talk about making your HealthFlex selection since AE did open yesterday. And as I said, I will go through any questions that you have. Within HealthFlex, we have three different dental plan options. We have a passive PPO, which is the most open plan, and I'll talk about that more. We have a PPO called the dental PPO plan, and then we have a dental HMO plan. The passive PPO and the dental PPO both use the same broad Cigna PPO Advantage network for in-network dentists. The DHMO uses a very, very narrow Cigna Dental Care Access Plus network. The DHMO network is narrow to the point that it is not available in all zip codes. When you go through annual election, you will not see the dental HMO as an option if you do not have at least one dentist within, I think it's 25 or 30 miles. The passive PPO and the PPO both have a $50 per person deductible and $150 family deductible for services aside from cleanings and x-rays. If you get cleanings and x-rays, you do not need to pay the deductible. And then in the dental HMO, there is not a deductible. For the passive PPO, whether you go in or out of network, the coinsurance is the same and the maximum benefit is the same. So once you meet your deductible for services beyond cleanings and x-rays in the passive PPO, whether you are at an in-network or an out-of-network dentist, the plan's going to pay 80% and you're going to pay 20%, up to the maximum of $2,000 per calendar year per person. That's what the plan will pay. So this is not an out-of-pocket max like you see on dental pharmacy and behavioral health, which limits what you're going to spend in a year. This is the maximum benefit that the plan pays. Dental just works differently than medical, pharmacy, and behavioral health. On the dental PPO plan or PPO, you'll see that the in-network and out-of-network benefits are different. The in-network benefit on the PPO plan is much richer than the out-of-network benefit and also richer than both the in and out-of-network on the passive PPO. So for in-network, you get 90% coinsurance, meaning the plan pays 90% coinsurance once you've met your $50 deductible, up to a $2,000 maximum benefit per person per calendar year. And then in the PPO, you do have a out-of-network benefit, but it's reduced. So the coinsurance drops by 20%, which is significant, but the maximum benefit drops by 50%. So the maximum amount the plan would pay, aside from cleanings and x-rays, is $1,000. Or I'm sorry, including cleanings and x-rays, is $1,000 per year. And then the dental HMO just works completely differently than any other plan. There's a charge schedule. You can look it up on Cigna's website, or you can contact the active benefits team at Westpath who can help you find that. Basically, there's a cost structure for each type of service within the dental HMO, and there is no out-of-network benefit. Not only is there no out-of-network benefit in the DHMO, you have to go to the dentist assigned to you or that you choose. So once you enroll in the DHMO, you have a period of time to choose your own dentist. We will send you reminders to do that. At a certain period of time, if you haven't chosen a dentist, Cigna will assign one to you, but you can always change who they assign to you. When you choose a dentist in the DHMO, it is always effective the first of the following month, and you cannot go to that dentist until the first of the following month if you've made a change. There's no ID card on the passive PPO or PPO. You can print something online if you want from Cigna.com or using your single sign-on from benefitsaccess.org. For the DHMO, each individual in the family gets their own ID card, and that ID card will have the dentist's name printed on the card, so you need to bring that to the dentist. And you can have, since you have a different ID card for each family member, you can actually have a different dentist for each family member. So for example, my wife and I could have the same dentist, and if we send our daughter, who's 12, to a different dentist, we could do that, and she would have her own card with that dentist's name. There's many more details about coverage, coinsurance and how it works for different types of services. You know, the coinsurance I showed on the previous slide is for basic restorative services. So, you know, we're talking about like fillings and things like that. If you needed a root canal or something more in depth, the coinsurance does change on that. So you would want to review the Plan Comparisons 2025 document. This will have many more details about the dental coverage, along with coverage of other plans like medical, pharmacy, behavioral health, vision, and information about health accounts as well. This is available online, whether you log in through Benefits Access to get to AE information or you use the public site, and I'll show you a little bit more about those later. Here is probably the most complicated part of dental benefits is the networks, because they're different. So I'm going to spend a good amount of time now going through how to find out if your dentist is in network, whether you're choosing one of the PPO plans, the passive PPO or the PPO, or if you're choosing the dental HMO. We do have this handout that's online, a PDF, Finding a Dentist in the DHMO, that walks you through how you would do it. But I'm also going to walk through some screens right now and show you. I went through it again myself this morning to make sure that websites hadn't been updated. It seems like everything is, if not exactly the same, except at least reasonably close to the same where it makes sense, and you wouldn't get confused by using the handout. So if you just want to go directly to Cigna.com, because that's easier, that's kind of what I'm going to show you today. If you log into Benefits Access, though, and you have dental, you can single sign on over to Cigna and search for a dentist that way. And based upon the plan that you're in, the system's going to know what dentists are in network. But if you're thinking about changing networks, or you're thinking about joining dental for the first time, this would be probably the best way to go to make sure that you're choosing the right plan, the plan that's going to work best for you in 2025. So on Cigna.com, there's going to be this bar near the top of the screen, and you're going to click Find a Doctor. And then when it asks, how are you covered, you're going to click Employer or School, because technically HealthFlex is considered to be an employer plan. And then once you click on that, you're going to enter your zip code. And once you enter your zip code, doctor by type, doctor by name, and health facilities and group practices will appear. They'll be grayed out before you put in a zip code. At this point, you're going to click on doctor by type, and then you're going to get a menu that pops up. And as you can see on this menu, we've got primary care provider. That is a medical primary care provider. If you look down a little bit to the middle here, That's where you're going to get into general dentist, pediatric dentist, and orthodontist, right? So those are what you're looking for in this plan for dental. For the example here, I click general dentist and then you click search, or I selected general dentist, then click search. And then you're going to get the option to log in or register or continue as guest. To limit confusion, if you have a plan, I would suggest not going in and logging into my Cigna unless I would suggest not registering. If you have a login, because maybe you've downloaded the mobile app and it uses the same login, then log into my Cigna would work well. But as I said before, if you're going to be looking for the same plan that you're in, the easiest way to do it, the less selections you have to make, the less chance for error would be to use benefitsaccess.org login and single sign-on from the Health tab. So assuming you're going in for the first time or looking to change networks, here we've got continue as guest. You'll confirm where you live. You do not here want to click continue without a plan. If you continue without a plan, this is going to show you all the dentists that are in any one of Cigna's networks. And it's going to be very confusing to remember which networks apply for you. I have done this many times on my own, and when I continue without a plan, I am always amazed at how many dentists I see that do not apply to the network. So here you're going to want to click continue, and then you're going to get a pop-up that's going to show the networks that you have to choose from. If you are going to check the dental care HMO, the Cigna Dental Care DHMO network, you want Access Plus. And if you're going to look for a dentist in the passive PPO network or the dental PPO network, you're going to choose Advantage. One tip I want to share here, because the passive PPO and dental PPO use the exact same network, if your dentist is in the Advantage network, you are going to maximize your benefit by choosing the dental PPO network and not the passive PPO network, because it is less expensive and you have higher coinsurance for that in-network doctor. If you are choosing a doctor that is out of network in the Advantage network, then you are most likely going to benefit from choosing the passive PPO, because while it's more expensive than the dental PPO, you're going to get the higher coinsurance and you're going to get double the plan year max. So instead of the plan paying $1,000 towards your services for the year, the passive PPO will pay $2,000. So remember, dental HMO, no out-of-network benefits, Access Plus network. Dental PPO, EPO, that's where the passive PPO and the dental PPO fall. If your dentist is in the Advantage network, you're going to save the most money on services and premium by choosing the dental PPO. If it's out of network, you're going to maximize your benefit in the passive PPO. So you'd want to look and see, are you likely to use that full benefit? If you're just getting cleanings and x-rays, then the options might be different. You might still choose the dental PPO because you want to pay less in premiums each month, and then still have coverage if something goes wrong. For planned services out of network, you're most likely going to save the most money in the passive PPO. Here's what this looks like if you go through Benefits Access. So if you go through Benefits Access and go to the dental module, you would just click Go to Cigna, and you'll get single signed on over to Cigna, and then you will see a slightly different search bar, but a very intuitive search bar to find a dentist that's in network. And at that point, Cigna knows who you are, knows what plan you're in. So for me, you can see I am in the dental PPO, so it would automatically show me that Advantage network. So what are some cost-saving tips to maximize your benefits? Know the networks, right? It's very important to know how the networks work and if your dentist is in the networks. We saw that there's a plan max every year, so not an out-of-pocket max like you see on medical, pharmacy, and behavioral health, but a plan maximum which is the most the plan will pay for each covered individual in a plan year. So if you have high cost procedures, you might be able to split them over 2 plan years. So for example, if you need 2 root canals and it's now almost November, maybe you schedule one for late November, early December, and another one for January. Just a way to maximize the benefit that you have. Use your health account, right? If you have money in an FSA, an HSA, or an HRA, you can use that money to help pay for your services in dental. And you can plan ahead. If you know your plan maximum and you know you're going to exceed it, you'd maybe want to put some money into a health account so that you can get the tax benefit of having that when you get your services. And then if you have dental, use your benefits, right? Get your cleanings, get your x-rays, get fluoride treatments if necessary every year, because prevention is the best thing that you can do year over year to keep your teeth healthy. Going to take a quick look over at the questions right now. So question, will I send out the PowerPoint? We will send out a recording, which will include this. We could probably also make the PowerPoint available if you'd like. And then what does the word passive mean in this context? So in this context, it means that if you go to a dentist and they are in the network, you will automatically get the network. You will automatically get the in-network benefits. So they will be, you don't have to do anything to say, oh, I'm going to an in-network doctor. The network takes care of that. So you passively get the benefits of the dentist being in network, even if you didn't really know they were in network, or even if they get added to the network later in the year, and then you get services at that point. So that's what Cigna means by passive. Is there going to be a workshop for health accounts? We do not currently have a health account workshop scheduled, but we can look into what's available. We may have a recording from last year already. We definitely have a health account benefit bite that you can get to on the AE webpage, and I'm going to show you that in a couple moments. A few slides, you'll see the AE webpage, and there are benefit bites on, or a benefit bite on health accounts there that would probably answer most of your questions. Key resources for your decision as you're looking to estimate your costs or look at how coverages work. We have the How Do I Choose My Health Plans, HealthFlex Plans brochure. That is on the AE website. And then we have this little blobby guy. That's what he's called, which represents Alex. Alex Benefits Counselor is available, and I think it was starting last year, so it's relatively new. Alex does help you estimate your dental costs as well. I would allot at least 30 minutes to complete, Alex. It's going to go through all your options for all your plans. When you look at what healthcare costs prior to any cost share from your employer, it is really expensive. You're talking thousands and sometimes tens of thousands of dollars a year is what it costs, even if that's not what you're paying. So 30 minutes is really not a ton of time to spend looking at this. When you look at costs of healthcare, the total cost of healthcare without cost share is more than most people would spend on a car over 3 or 4 years, right? And your monthly premium, depending upon the plan you choose and your cost share, could be as much, if not more, than a car payment. And that's just for a 1-year decision. So I do recommend everyone taking some time to look at Alex each year to see, especially if your health has changed, right? Maybe you're healthier, maybe you're on some new medications, maybe you're dealing with a new injury. Could be helpful to look at Alex. You'll get those personalized recommendations, and Alex definitely has graphics. It definitely has animation and humor. I call it more dad joke humor. So you might chuckle, you might sigh, but it at least is trying to keep you engaged and does explain those confusing benefit concepts using simpler language. Make sure that you select the right category when you log in, when you go into Alex. You do not have to create a login. You can always bypass that. Although if you want to create a login in Alex, you can. Alex, based upon the information that you put in, is going to give a recommendation. So based upon the types of services you need across all plans, Alex is going to crunch the numbers, apply your premium credit, and tell you what plan looks like it will be the lowest cost for you. Please note that when you go through Alex, until you choose your medical plan and then go back to the premium credit module, Alex is not going to know what your cost share is. So when you select just your medical plan at first, do not freak out and think that you are going to pay that full amount there when you know you have a premium credit. If you know you have a premium credit, continue to go through. I like to select all my plans and then go to the premium credit module because then I have the best idea of what I'm likely to pay out of pocket. Here is the annual election webpage. You could click the QR code. You can type in this URL. You can get there going through just westpath.org and clicking on health and following the links on the screen. That is where you'll be able to get to a number of different things, including for the individual who asked the health accounts benefit bite. I think it's a couple minutes long, but it really goes into a lot of detail about how those different health accounts work. I saw some questions pop up, so I'm going to address those now. If you're in need of an assistance with a dental claim, you would reach out to Cigna. If you hit a wall with Cigna, I would say please contact the active benefits team at WestPath. Does Alex have the ability to analyze for HealthFlex participation for only the first half of the year because you're going on Medicare July 1st? So there is a Medicare module within Alex. I am far enough away from Medicare right now that I have not gone through to see what it would do for me if I entered my age at 65. But when Alex asks your age and you put 65, it should trigger, or I think it even starts at maybe if you put your age at like 63 or above, there's a Medicare module that will be able to bring up that Medicare information. I'm not sure if it pays attention to how much of the year you would be covered in the active plan, though. So if you have questions about that, I would say contact, if you're looking at the medical side, I would say a care coordinator could help you if you're talking medical pharmacy, behavioral health. If it's anything else, I would contact the active benefits team if you were wondering how best to estimate things for the first half of the year versus the second half of the year. They might be able to direct you better. And then orthodontia, yes, orthodontia would be covered under the dental benefit. So it does come into play here. There is generally a different orthodontia benefit than what I showed with the plan maximum. Orthodontia in the passive PPO and dental PPO plans is only for children. The dental HMO plan has the richest orthodontia benefit and also has an adult orthodontia benefit. So for those looking for an orthodontist, I could definitely see a scenario, not recommending that you do it, but recommending you look at it. See a scenario where you would find a orthodontist in the DHMO that would save you a bunch of money, and then you could use a dentist in the dental HMO for your cleanings and x-rays, or if it made financial sense, and something when my daughter needs braces that I will look at is, do I just keep going to my current dentist for cleanings and x-rays and pay out of pocket for those because the cost on a monthly basis for the DHMO premium is so much less and the orthodontia benefit is richer. So just a consideration. Making your elections. If you've been in HealthFlex before, you know that you go to benefitsaccess.org. You've probably all gotten your postcards, most likely last week, going over how you make your elections. You'll be able to get to, through single sign-on, get to make your elections. When you go through and make your elections, remember in Alex, you have to get through your plans and then go back and see what your premium credit is. And Alex does not save any elections for you. You must go through Benefits Access to make your elections for 2025. When you go through, the premium credit is automatically going to be applied as you choose plans. There will be a running total up. I think it's changed from this picture. I think this is how it shows at the end, but there will be a running total on the top right that shows what your out-of-pocket costs are. The premium credit automatically applies to your medical, pharmacy, behavioral health plan, your dental plan, your vision plan premiums. It will not automatically apply to any personal contributions you are choosing to make. The premium credit does not change based upon what plan you choose, but it may change depending upon your plan sponsor, based upon how many people are covered. And then please do not waive the premium credit. If you waive the premium credit, it will be obvious to you if you look at this election summary, because you will not see any offset to your cost. You will see yourself paying the first cost, the full cost. If you go through and you do waive the premium credit, don't worry, we're going to audit that on the back end and we'll make sure that you still get any premium credit that you're owed. Excuse me. As you probably know, annual election began yesterday and goes through November 14th. So that is 2 weeks from today. Reminder, Alex does not enroll you in any plans. So please go out and make your elections. Choose your plans, whether they're the same or different. If you want to make FSA or HSA contribution elections, you must do that every single year. If you're choosing an HSA for the first time, you need to accept the terms and conditions for the HSA so that one can be opened for you. And then if you choose the DHMO, you need to select a primary dentist. For HSA terms and conditions and primary dentists, we will send you multiple reminders after AE closes if you haven't done that already. So we will periodically get the data to see who has or has not completed those. And if you haven't, we will send those out. If you are in HealthFlex today and you do not make elections, whatever combined medical, pharmacy, behavioral health plan, whatever dental plan, whatever vision plan you have today will carry over to next year. If this is your first annual election and you're a lay employee, you will not be defaulted into any plans. And if you are new to HealthFlex and you're you're a mandatory category, meaning you're a full-time clergy person, then you will end up in your plan sponsor's default plans. If you need additional help, this is really about mostly enrolling in plans. You can see there's a couple scenarios where you want some basic information about how plans differ or how drug pricing might differ. You can call this AE support line that's open 7 to 7, Monday through Friday, and that is Central Time. If you want information about drug pricing, I would suggest viewing the pharmacy webinar that we did on Tuesday, which goes into detail about how the costs work and show how to use the pricing tool. Again, I'm going to reiterate a couple things that we covered on these last few slides. Avoid these common mistakes of not using Alex. Please use Alex, especially if you haven't taken a look at the plan you're in a while. Don't think that Alex makes your elections. Make sure you go to benefitsaccess.org. And don't choose the DHMO without selecting an in-network primary care dentist. 3 main takeaways. Make sure you know if your dentist is in the network. Prevention is key. Get your cleanings, your x-rays, your fluoride treatments. And don't forget that the plan maximum is not an out-of-pocket maximum, right? In dental, the plan maximum is the most the plan will pay for each covered individual. And I didn't cover it before, but usually, in fact, across all the plans, the orthodontia maximum is different than the one I showed. that is all that I have for today. So I'm going to take a look. Sorry, I got to look to my right to see if we have any questions coming in. So the screen showed that the ability to use Alex ended on October 30th. I sure hope not. If I have that, that is a mistake. Um, so, oh, yeah. So we have this in there. Alex is available before October 30th. It continues to be available through the end of annual election. So I'm sorry, I see how that's confusing. We'll get that fixed on this slide. I think I took this slide from presentations that we usually do before AE opens. But yes, you can still use Alex, uh, today and through the end of annual election. And when going through annual election, you can go back and make changes as many times as you would like up through November 14th. Whatever change you make last is the one that's going to apply. You can always check your confirmation statement. The only confirmation statement that will show for 2025 benefits is in the system is the last one that was saved. So if I go in every day for 5 days and make elections, I'm not going to see 5 different confirmation statements. I'm only going to see the last one. Can you say more about how the plans cover braces in terms of maximum and network? Yes. Let me see what I can. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second, and I'm gonna bring up something else that I think will help me make sure that I stay on track. Give me just a moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up, uh, the 5258. So this is the HealthFlex plans comparison document. And I'm going to go down to the dental section here. This is available on the website if you wanted to look at it in detail. So let's look at orthodontia. So here we go. On the bottom here, I hope you could see this. So um, when I showed
Bob,
I'm going to back up a little bit.
You're not
I'm
sharing.
sorry?
You're not sharing.
I'm not sharing?
No.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Mhm.
Oh, I should click this blue share button. Now am I sharing?
Yes.
Okay. So here's some more detail on how the networks work and how the coinsurance works. You'll remember that I mentioned that for basic restorative, those were the cost shares that I showed, the coinsurance I showed. And then that major restorative and orthodontia have a different plan maximum. So if we look at the passive PPO here, the plan pays up to 50% up to $2,000 for those 19 and under. That's the same in-network dental PPO coverage, but if you go out of network in the dental PPO, it's only up to $1,000. And then the dental HMO has the richest benefit. So for children, the plan will pay $2,040. And then for adult orthodontia, which is usually more expensive, it'll pay $2,376. So what you'd want to do for specifics beyond that, I would suggest contacting Cigna. For example, what happens if I change my orthodontist in between there? How many months do I have to pay my portion over? All of those things. Cigna would be the best to answer that because there could be different considerations. Any other questions? Share the link for this document, please. Yes. So why don't I think. Let me see if I can add this document here for everybody. Looking to see if I can add it. Let me at least find the link. And I should be able to add it here. Give me one moment. I apologize. I am not sharing my screen, correct? I think I stopped
That is
sharing.
correct. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Give me one moment. I am going to add the link. I have the link. I know where it is. If anyone has any other questions, please feel free to type those in. And sorry, my computer seems to not be all of a sudden wanting to move very quickly. So I just sent the URL for this. I think it went out to everyone, but if everyone didn't see it, please let me know. Any other questions? While you're thinking, I do want to thank everyone for joining today. I know it's a difficult time of day to hop on and learn about, let's be honest, not the most exciting topic of dental benefits. So I hope you found this useful. We will send out recordings. We will send out the recording of this webinar to you. I'm hoping by tomorrow. It will also be posted online. So if you go to the AE site, there will be a little module there that shows webinars. And I also think you can get there off of westpath.org. I'm not 100%, but we will have these online. We can certainly send it out to you if you can't find it, the recording. But I'm also hoping that we can email everyone tomorrow with a link to the recording so that you have it. So is it possible to split a procedure over 2 years, bridge work? You would want to check with your dentist to see how they're going to bill it, and you would definitely want to check with Cigna to see how they would handle it. I do think it largely depends on how it's billed, and if it's considered one procedure by the dentist, and if Cigna therefore considers it one procedure, they might cap you to 1 year. But I am honestly, those details are kind of beyond my scope of knowledge. I find that a lot of times it does depend on how it's billed at the office. What I would say is it never hurts to ask at the office how they're going to bill it, and if you're going for multiple services, if they're able to split those where you pay a portion when you go for each service. I know you can definitely use health account money over 2 years to pay for it if they bill you over the 2 years, right? So if you're putting $1,000 in your FSA, for example, each year, and they bill you in December for part of it, in January for the other part, then you can use the FSA for both years to pay for that. Any other questions? Okay, well, once again, thank you all for your time. If you have other questions, once we send out the link to the webinar recording, you can respond to that link. You can also call the Active Benefits team, you can call Cigna, and you can call the AE support line. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day and a great weekend since it's approaching soon. Thank you again. And please let us know if there's anything else that you need.